You know, as someone who preaches about the importance of loving yourself first before you can truly connect with others, you start to realize the hard way that the world is not all positivity and happy-go-lucky vibes. There's also a whole lot of cruelty, evilness even. It's one thing to witness it happening to some random person, but when it happens to you or someone you love, it can potentially change your character, haunt your dreams, and ruin your life if you allow it to. Rejections and traumatizing experiences is what leads a lot of us to believing that the only escape is to harm ourselves in ways that would be too descriptive for YouTube. But it doesn't have to be that way. For every person who has a negative belief about themselves and their life, there are always another 10 who have the exact same thought. Thankfully, even during the darkest of times, you will always find that light, that spark of hope in the far distance, if you look long enough. And this story that I want to share expresses that message. This is Chester the bird. At the beginning of the story, it is revealed that he is severely sick and in need of treatment. So a boy named Arnold takes the bird to a guy who is known by many as the Pigeon Man. All of his friends believe that this Pigeon Man guy is some crazy psycho, but Arnold thinks about the best case scenario.
He's one crazy psychopathic freak, but he's the crazy psychopathic freak who can fix my pigeon.
So he goes on his way to talk to the Pigeon Man, who lives in a building that looks haunted and abandoned. Once he finally reaches the top, it's clear that Pigeon Man is in fact introverted. He doesn't talk much at first, but he does tell Arnold to come back the next day. So Arnold awkwardly leaves the building while trying to remain as optimistic as possible. All of Arnold's friends still don't trust Pigeon Man. They all express their negative beliefs about who they think he is. Arnold seems to be the only one who holds a positive opinion on the man. He keeps that optimism all the way until he finally meets up again with Pigeon Man the next day. As Arnold expected, Pigeon Man easily cures Chester. The guy just knows pigeons. He trusts them and they trust him. The same can't be said for his relationship with humans, however.
Don't you ever get lonely up here?
Lonely for what? For people? No.
He tells the story of how and when he became so fascinated with pigeons throughout his childhood. His friends thought he was weird, so they stopped talking to him. It's hard for him to trust people. Arnold shares his optimism with the poor guy by letting him know that good people do exist if you're willing to open up to them. Pigeon Man then reveals his real name, Vincent. Arnold talks him into working up the courage to experience a little bit of the outside world again. The two go out for pizza and become great friends during their time together. Meanwhile, some rotten kids have a hard time accepting the fact that the Pigeon Man isn't who they thought he was. So they come up with the idea to play a practical joke on him by sabotaging his home. However, the prank quickly goes wrong as the three boys accidentally destroy more than they intended to. As Arnold and Vincent return back to get Chester, they are devastated by the destruction that was caused by the three knuckleheads that didn't know any better. At this point, Vincent is so convinced at how cruel humanity can be that he begins his farewell speech.
You see, Arnold, it's time for me to leave here. Some people are meant to be with people, and others, like me, are just different.
Where Vincent's next adventure is never stated in the episode. Who knows if it's another place on Earth, or if he meant somewhere different entirely. All we know is that he truly understands his life purpose, and that is to help as many pigeons as he possibly can. He has no shame in that, and Arnold has no judgment towards him. The feels really get to you during the final scene that shows Vincent flying towards the sun and Arnold saying his final goodbye. Yeah, this episode is dark as hell. I'm shocked that there was a time when Nickelodeon cartoons got this deep. This story truly connected with me as I felt Vincent's pain throughout the episode. I think we can all learn something from him and Arnold. Vincent has a profound interest for his animal friends, so much so that people think he is weird because of it. Due to a traumatic experience in the past, he wants nothing to do with humans of all ages. This causes him to isolate himself from people, and although he may say that he doesn't get lonely, I would argue that he does. Based on the emotion he expresses at the end of the episode, it's clear Vincent wishes to live somewhere that has people who actually understand him. People like Arnold. I think it's pretty sad witnessing the minute that he was willing to give humanity another shot is the same minute he was proven right with the ignorant behavior by children who didn't know any better. A lot of us have painful memories of traumatic experiences from our past, but we try or are pretty much forced to ignore them. Because of this, the happiest person can secretly be the most depressed person. They are never given an opportunity to express their true, dark emotions, fearing judgment for doing so. That's why it's so important to treat every single person like they matter, because if they didn't matter, they wouldn't exist. Doesn't matter how weird they may seem, how awful they may smell, what clothes they wear, how different they may look. Every single person has a purpose. That doesn't mean to trust everyone you run into, but it does mean that before you go out trying to seek revenge or crack practical jokes and pranks on an individual, really question the intent behind it. I can say based on personal experience that traumatic experiences suck. It's like a scar that never fades no matter what you do. If you can resonate with that statement, I want to let you know that your fate does not have to end up like Vincent's. There's a better way to deal with traumatic experiences and depressing thoughts, and it has nothing to do with giving up on life. Although the thought may be impossible to erase from memory, that doesn't mean we have to continue to entertain it. Acknowledge the fact that whatever happened in the past happened. I know this may sound disheartening, but it is what it is and life goes on. That doesn't mean to bottle up your emotions. I actually encourage the exact opposite. I'm just saying don't dwell on the past. Just because the past hurts doesn't mean the future will. Just because one person rejects you doesn't mean the next one will. I don't care if 99 people disrespect you, there will always be that special someone who will understand you. People don't have the final say in your self-worth, only you do. Your opinion of yourself is the only thing that matters. So make it a good one and live a good life. In the description, you will find the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Please consider visiting the website or dialing the number if all else fails. I seriously hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.